Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we have here two very strong mid-ranges. They're both coming in at the same price of RM1899. However, the vivo V29 comes with 12GB of RAM, whereas the Samsung A54 comes with 8GB of RAM. Now obviously the Samsung device has been out for a little more and its price is now, I think you can get it for even more affordable, but Vivo is saying that their latest mid-range device is good enough to take on the Samsung A54, which is a very popular mid-range. So in today's video, we're going to see how this vivo V29 stacks up against its rival. Let's begin the video right away. Now first and foremost, I think we can just take a very quick look at their designs because they are very different. Now for the vivo V29, we have sort of like a gradient kind of colorway going on at the back. It is super slim and it comes with a couple of curves on the back panel as well as on the front. Other than that, you'll notice that it is also slightly longer, it's slightly larger, and I think it still fits in hand very well because it is very slim. Now moving on to the Samsung A54. Now this comes with Samsung's trademark design. They all have this very Samsung kind of look here. It's very clean, very minimalist. I don't think there's anything wrong with the design. It is also made of very premium materials here. However, I think if you're looking for a more slimmer, more modern kind of look, the vivo V29 here might be the choice for you. But if you're looking for a more minimalist kind of look, the Samsung A54 still holds up very well. Design is subjective and it depends on your personal preference on which device you would like to go for. Alright, so moving on to the second part here, let's click the devices to the front. And right now we can check out the displays at the front because they are actually quite different. Now, although they both have AMOLED displays and they are both 120Hz, that means they're both equally smooth here on the displays. But what's different here is that we have a slightly larger display like I mentioned earlier on. If you put them side by side, you'll notice how long the device is on the vivo V29. You also notice one more difference here, and that is the vivo device uses a curved display, whereas Samsung uses a flat display. Now with a curved display, essentially you try to get rid of all the bezels on the sides, and this gives you for a more immersive kind of viewing experience if you're going to watch a lot of videos on this device. So again, that's great there. Another thing that your eyes might not be able to see is actually in terms of the resolution. Now the display of the vivo V29 here is actually higher resolution than the Samsung A54. This is 1080p, but this is slightly higher than that. That means that pictures, videos will appear a bit more sharper on the vivo V29. Moving on, in terms of performance, this is where they are both very different. Now, Vivo opted for a Snapdragon, whereas Samsung went with their own Exynos processor. I wouldn't say that they are very different in terms of performance. They are both equally good in playing games, launching applications. However, if you are a gamer, like I mentioned earlier on, you might appreciate the Snapdragon device here because it is more compatible with more games. That means that most of your games will be able to support higher graphics on this Snapdragon 778G. However, for the Samsung A54, this is more of a more efficient power-saving kind of processor here. That means that although the performance is not that high, but you will be getting a sort of longer battery life on the A54. Now moving on, let's talk a bit about their batteries because again, they are very different here. Now although the Vivo is very slim as you can see, it's almost half the thickness of the Samsung A54, and with that, the Vivo only comes with a 4600 mAh battery, whereas the A54 here comes with a 5000 mAh battery. So, like I said, you're going to be getting even more battery life with the Samsung device. However, when it comes to charging, this is where again it is a night and day situation. For the Vivo device here, it charges using an 80-watt charger. That means that it hits 50% in just 17 minutes, and that is very quick. Whereas for the Samsung A54, it's only using its traditional 25-watt charging, and it takes more than an hour to charge from 0 to 100%. So if you ask me, I would say that you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of battery life for this slim form factor because you do have that very fast, rapid charging. Now last but not least, a huge difference here actually is in terms of the cameras at the back. Now you can see that they do have triple camera setups on each. And in terms of the megapixel count, I'll put it on your screens. But in terms of real world use, now this is what I noticed here, and that is pictures taken by Vivo tend to look a little bit more natural. You have the option of turning on that natural color look, and I think it's even better because it looks truer to life. Pictures on the Samsung A54 on the other hand looks a little bit too saturated most of the times. And when it comes to taking pictures of portraits, pictures of people, this is where the vivo V29 really excels because it is doing a fantastic job at blurring out the background and really identifying the subject and separating it from the background. So just in terms of camera wise, I would say that the vivo V29 here is actually slightly better in terms of that compared to the A54. Now overall, what are my final thoughts for these devices? I would say that the vivo V29 here is definitely giving Samsung A54 a run for its money. Now although the Samsung A54 is a very strong device, it comes with that One UI that a lot of Samsung fans love. It is a very decent package overall. However, I would say that the vivo V29 today has actually managed to up the game for the mid-range segment. Not only do we have here a very nice slim form factor, you also get a high resolution display at the front, a curved display by the way, and you also get a pretty good set of cameras at the back that can take excellent pictures, and not to forget that 80-watt fast charge as well. Anyways, if you ask me which one I would pick for now, I'll have to go with the vivo V29. However, again, this is really down to your personal preference on which device you would choose. So which one will you take, guys? Will you take the vivo V29 or the Samsung A54? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.